The College Experience Mississippi State Bulldogs season preview for 2020 on the Sports Scaling Podcast Network is presented by MyBookie.ag. Yeah, and you're listening to our 2020 college football preview series where we break down every single Division I college football team. When betting on college football, make sure you go to MyBookie.ag and use the promo code SGP for a deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code SGP. You play, you win, you get paid over at mybookie.ag. Yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the College Experience Hail State Edition. Talking about Mississippi State. My name is Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee, aka The Dantabase, and I'm joined by my partner in crime here, former James Madison defensive back, hell of a good guy, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi, folks. I'm running on fumes here. We're going late in the night.
Well, this is a burst of energy then.
Burning the midnight oil to bring you Mike Leach and the first year of the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I can't wait to watch. It's a shame this virus is hitting, but I'm saying like, this is one that you circled off season. Like, look, well, first off, obviously we have been big fans of Mike Leach. I've had him ranked as the top coach in all of college football, which a lot of people think is crazy, but I would argue all day, this is pre-Mississippi State days.
The guy has done more with less.
I don't think some of these other coaches could go into Texas Tech and win 11 games, could go into Washington State, win 11 games.
I think you'd have a very strong point because it really never happens.
I mean, you go back to all of the places he's been at Oklahoma, he comes in. Next thing you know, they win a national championship. At Kentucky, they were horrible before they came in there. Got success. Beat Alabama for the first time in 75 years. So we've always been big fans. And then obviously once recently over the past year or so, Leach got in touch with us and we've developed our friendship and
throw in the hijinks.
Just if you haven't checked out, Mike Leach been on the show, been on the Sports Gambling Podcast lots of times, and a heck of a good guy. And invited us up to Pullman last year. We went up to Pullman to check out a game and hang out with him, and that was awesome. And I'm excited for him at Mississippi State. I really am. I think the SEC. It's interesting watching the SEC move into a more of a passing. You saw it with LSU's success last year, even Bama with Tua. They kind of changed their MO as a football team in a way. They became much more pass happy, and you're seeing it with Arkansas. Sam Pittman bringing in Kendall Briles. You're seeing it at Ole Miss with going with Lane Kiffin go with UCF's OC.
Yeah, and SEC is definitely. Alabama, if you look, LSU too. It's like even the big boys, but certainly these other teams that are trying to win these shootouts now. Yeah, they're bringing in the gunners too.
Well, and now you add Mike Leach to that mix, and I think this is fantastic. I mean, this is going to be really awesome to watch.
Even Lane likes to throw it around some.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call him a straight. I think he's more of a pro style.
Well, especially with the if he hired UCF's OC.
That's true. That suggests that they're going to be chucking the ball around some.
It should be interesting to watch. But yes, I mean, dude, I'm really excited to see him with actual. He's never had talent like this.
Well, yeah, he's never had talent. Looking back at their recruiting rankings, they have been remarkably consistent over the last 5 years recruiting. These 5 recruiting classes dating back to 2016, 28, 24, 27, 24, 28.
Jeez.
That's basically top 25 talent.
Well, and then you add in
thereabouts. fringe top 25 talent.
You add in a coach that I think, from a schematic standpoint, just he doesn't lose really.
Yeah,
he doesn't really lose.
Yeah. He's always putting his team in an advantage. I mean, we went back, we looked at his passing stats. I want to say year one at Wazoo, he was 9th in the nation.
Yeah, and he took over a Washington State team that was awful. Yeah, absolutely awful.
And then jumped up to 4th in the nation in passing a second year, and then the next 6 years finished first or third once, second once, and first in the nation in passing 4 different times. So the guy is going to pass the ball effectively.
Yeah, and that's what's so exciting is seeing that, all of a sudden these Egg Bowl games are going to be fantastic, and then then now they're going to play against Saban's defense, Saban's Alabama defense and LSU and stuff, and I can't wait to watch these things, man. I cannot wait. It's unfortunate to me that he didn't have spring ball, because I do think that's an offense. Obviously, bringing in KJ Costello though, love that addition.
I mean, just between Costello and Kylin Hill, that's got to be the most talented backfield he's ever had.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And then even like Stevens, the backup, I really like. Even dude, when you go through the talent of this team, it matters how fast can Mike get these guys to know the system and commit. But I love it. You look at this team, and I actually think they're better than coming into it. I was like, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be tough for this year. And I get it. We have this COVID. Who knows if they're playing SEC games the whole schedule, or if they're going to end up playing this out of conference schedule. But I can tell you from the start, I really like what this roster has. He brought in just recently Tyrell Shavers, the Alabama wideout, coming in as a transfer, and like I said, Hill at running back. And then another thing, that Hal Mumme, legendary coach that created the air raid at Iowa Wesleyan with Mike Leach, and then they took it to Valdosta State. He was on our show, Sports Gambling Podcast. Check out that episode. Hilarious guy, great guy. But he talks about Mike Leach being one of the best offensive line coaches.
Yeah, not something you think. You think he's a Spurrier type,
But he sends out these pros. Andre Dillard, most recently, 1st-round draft pick by the Eagles. Washington State was kind of sending out pros on a decent level for O linemen. Really great. And Mummy's saying, dude, Mike Leach was one of the best offensive line coaches you could have. So you gotta like that, despite brand new offense. But another thing is they get the ball out quick because you're doing air raid.
Yeah. So that really Costello is a huge part of that, and if he can pick it up quickly, then he can buy the team some time to pick up on the.
Costello threw 30 touchdowns 2 years ago, dude.
Yeah, you got to figure Costello is ready and probably eager to be the point man of such a potent offense.
Well, even like the receivers, you could say, oh, well, they don't have much experience. I mean, they got Mitchell coming back, but I don't even think. I mean, yeah, you want to get experience that in every position, but 4 of the 5 targets from last year are gone. Okay, I get it, but this is a new system anyway, so they would have had that learning curve anyway. And a lot of this thing is spacing, the air raid, mash.
You got to figure, while the experience is gone from the receiving core, based on the recruiting rankings, there's plenty of talent there to work with. And like you said, since it's all new material anyway for them, maybe they're not really missing too much. Yeah,
and then like you look at the I love the defensive coordinator hire and Zach Arnett coming over from San Diego State, running Rocky Long's defense, the 3-3-5. I really liked it. I know I'm biased because but I was a fan prior to ever meeting Mike Leach. I thought what he did at Texas Tech, what he did at Washington State, incredible jobs. In his first year at Texas Tech, made a bowl. Took over a team that wasn't that good, made a bowl, and I think he would have done the same at Washington State, but they were so low. So now he takes over a team that's really experienced. Now I know, obviously, no spring ball. That's concerning, but on first thought, I mean, dude, this and another thing is like the defense comes back. The defense is loaded. You have this really good defensive coordinator bringing in, getting some key defensive players. Man, this Erroll Thompson guy, senior, this guy was going to get drafted in the NFL. Comes back,
spend some time in the backfield.
Dude, the defensive line, man. Marquise Spencer, Nathan Pickering. I mean, Fabian Lovett.
I mean, every SEC defensive line, when you like really think about, with the exception of maybe like Vanderbilt,
Yeah.
is going to be from a national like.
I don't know about Arkansas recently.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
But nationally speaking, generally, you're going to have some nasty defensive fronts in the SEC. It's kind of just what they do down there.
Dude, but I before I started to really analyze it today, I was thinking, it's going to take him a year or two.
Yeah.
Then we go through the roster. I sit there in my head and I'm like, I'm not expecting him to win the West, but I was like, I wouldn't want to face this team.
Yeah.
They're more talented than I think people realize.
I mean, Kylin Hill, it seems like, they had a good running back last year at Washington State. What was the guy's name?
He's still there. It's Max.
Yeah, I know.
What is his last name? I like his game. I like his game a lot.
Quick little guy.
Yeah, he actually flipped Max Borgi.
That's
flipped
it.
from Colorado to Washington State. And Leach utilized him well, man.
Yeah, that dude
I wouldn't be surprised if he finds a spot on like
NFL roster.
Belichick's roster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Danny Woodhead 2.0.
All right.
But I like that kid and dude, I don't know.
I mean, when you think about Leach coming in, first 10 years as a coach at Texas Tech, all winning seasons, got them as high as number 2 in the nation at one, but somewhere in that range.
I think 1 or 2, yeah.
11-1. And then
and also developed some great receivers there. I mean, that's where Crabtree was, Wes Welker, Danny Amendola.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They were cranking them out. Steps into Washington State. It took a couple years for him to get it going there.
Dude, they were the worst Power 5 school.
Yeah, they were very, very bad. And by his 4th year, 9-4, 8-5, 9-4, 11-2. Like you gotta be impressed if you're a Washington or a Mississippi State fan rather, and hopeful.
I mean, go track back coach's entire career.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Valdosta State, Iowa Wesleyan, Kentucky, Oklahoma. You're going to see success.
All he does is win.
So it's inevitable. It's inevitable. I truly believe that. But I can't wait to check this out. All right, we're going to go game by game talking about we'll break it down in 2 segments because normally we were, prior to this announcing of the Pac-12, ACC, and Big Ten, that they were only going to play conference games. We were giving odds on all the other teams of what Vegas had set the odds for to win the division, the conference, and potentially the national championship. We also were looking at Heisman odds, win totals, over and unders, but those have all been thrown out right now, pretty much. They've reset everything. And SEC, I know, still might play this schedule, but I don't know. It's not looking good. You've had, obviously Alabama cancels against USC. USC cancels against Alabama. And you're seeing everything change right now, and I don't know what to expect. SEC might, if the ACC is not going to play those games, like Mississippi State has NC State on the schedule, is that game going to happen? I don't know that it's going to happen anymore.
Yeah, unlikely.
So we're going to break it down in 2 different ways. We're going to look at the out-of-conference games first. We'll go through that, and then we'll go game by game with the SEC. Obviously, they'd add more SEC games potentially, but who knows? Everything's in limbo, but we're going to talk Coach Leach and the air raid and Hail State and go game by game right after this break on the College Experience. And we're back on the College Experience talking Mississippi State football, talking Pirates, favorite Pirates. Check out Mike Leach's book, by the way. Got a couple great books out there. I got one I'm reading right now, Patty C, in the other room. Geronimo.
Oh yeah.
It's also got one called Swing Your Sword. Great stuff.
That's
Coach
more pirate oriented, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but it's all related to team and stuff and life.
There you go. Kind of self-help.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Check out. He's a Coach Leach, very interesting guy, very educated guy. Okay, now we go into game by game. First, let's look at the out of conference. All right, the New Mexico Lobos, which is hilarious that Rocky Long is now the defensive coordinator for New Mexico. So he retires from San Diego State.
Yeah.
His defensive coordinator goes to Mississippi State. Now, when Rocky Long was coaching, he's the innovator, by the way, if you don't know this, he's the creator of the 3-3-5 defense. Long coached at New Mexico for a long time. Guys.
Hello.
But he had Brian Urlacher. That's one of his most famous.
You may have heard of him.
Yeah. But one of the players he coached is Danny Gonzalez, who took the head coaching job. Used to be a San Diego State defensive coordinator about 5 years ago before Herm Edwards hired him at Arizona State.
Yeah.
They hired Danny Gonzalez to be the new head coach of New Mexico.
Nice.
Rocky Long retires from San Diego State, hands it over to Brady Hoke.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, when they hired Danny Gonzalez at New Mexico, he calls his old coach, Rocky Long, says, "Hey, can you come be the DC here?"
Yeah.
Rocky Long takes that position. So now he is the defense. Now the coach is with the player's with the coach, whatever.
It's a beautiful cycle.
It is a beautiful cycle. But week 1, he's going to be, if the schedule happens, if this game is even played, they come to Starkville to take on his defensive coordinator from San Diego State a year ago. So
yeah, that'll be you got to figure they'll know how to attack that defense.
Yeah.
That's probably not an advantage for Mississippi State, I would have to say.
but it's New Mexico year 1. They were not very good the past few years.
Yeah, I don't think you need that.
Yeah.
I think you can sustain a pretty decent disadvantage and still beat New Mexico most years. So
Agreed. So give me Mississippi State to get that done if this game is played. And then week 2, we mentioned at NC State. I'm imagining you take Mississippi State as well.
yeah, NC State had a pretty tough year last year. I think Dave Doran is a little bit very capable of a rebound season.
You see who he hired recently?
Who's that?
He hired East Carolina's old coach,
Oh, Ruffin.
McNeil, who is a Mike Leach guy from Texas Tech.
There it is.
So I got
NC
them.
State may be prepared for. Well, when your coaching tree is gigantic because you're an awesome coach, everyone knows a little bit of what you're doing. But
That's another thing people don't realize is the coaching tree from Mark
Leach.
Mangino to Art Briles or Dave Aranda, Alex Grinch to just Graham Harrell, the Seth Luttrell.
Yeah,
you could just go on and on and on. Josh Heupel.
Man.
Dude, it's like I said, Hal Mummy. It's Cliff Kingsbury with the Arizona Cardinals running the air raid. It's everywhere now, man.
That's true. And the creator, the architect is running the show down in Starkville.
So
the Starkitect.
I'm going to Starkville this year, man. If this season happens at NC State, I'm going to give them the win. I'm biased. I think they can beat them. This will be a good game though.
It will be a good game. I think I'd be interested to see how quickly Mississippi State gets it up and going without spring ball. I am worried a little bit here. Gosh, I don't know where to go with this, man. I think just based on how much better Mississippi State was last year, you give it to Leach, you give it to Mississippi State, but I'm not 100% sure about this.
I got them 2-0, and then their other out of conference games they're home to Tulane, which actually is a sneaky game. Willie Fritz, great coach at Tulane. Loved him at his previous stops. He had a couple good stops there. That's a sneaky game, though. I think Mississippi State's going to win that game, but Tulane, I think, is better than most realize.
Yeah,
I've hit on them the past couple of years as my lock over the win total. You got them winning that?
I think they get by Tulane. I think it'll be a good game. Like you said.
Me too. 3-0 at a conference, and then they have Alabama A&M, the other Bulldogs. Not Georgia.
and Mike, we love you, and we know this is over your head, but again, SEC, why are we playing these teams on the second last week of the season?
It is retarded. It is absolutely. Why is this game being played in general?
Yeah.
They beat Alabama A&M.
They do.
4-0.
4-0.
So if we get at a conference, if these games happen, 4-0. Now, okay. Now we break down the hard part because they have, in my opinion, the hardest 3-game stretch in America and the hardest back-to-back road game stretch in America.
Yeah. As hard as it can get.
Previously, I thought it was Iowa playing at Ohio State and at Penn State back-to-back. But when I analyzed this, I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
But we first SEC matchup is at home in Starkville against the Razorbacks.
Oh, that's right. Yep. So Razorbacks in Starkville.
Yeah.
I think Leach comes out and gets that done because Costello will have that offense rolling. I mean, if this is game 1, though, depending on what they do from a non-conference,
it's game 1 for Arkansas too, though. They're putting in Art Briles' system.
That's true. It's going to be an ugly game.
Kendall Briles, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kendall Briles' system. Give me Mississippi State to get this done.
I think so too.
Then they're home to A&M.
That's probably a loss.
I don't know, man.
It's too early on. I mean, Leach.
Well, now, if they have a regular season, it's game 5.
That's true. I mean, I can see Leach getting them in a couple of years to a point where they're at winning these type of games. But right off the bat, you got to figure
A&M's a team that kind of plays down to their They almost lost to Arkansas last year.
They do. You're right, but they have a huge
Ole Miss played them close.
Talent gap advantage here, I would say. So just based on that, now it is in Starkville, so
cowbells.
The cowbells will be ringing. It will be interesting.
All right, I'll back you on this and say A&M gets it, but I think this is gonna be close.
Yeah,
they get a bye week, and here's the stretch I'm talking about. This is just silly, At Alabama, and then the next week at LSU, and then the next week home to Auburn.
Just brutal.
What the hell is that? Well, they never give that to other schools. I feel like Mississippi and
Alabama
Mississippi State
would throw a conniption if they had that 3-game stretch.
It's just brutal. Okay, any chance? I can see that Auburn game on Halloween. Circle that one.
That could be a fun one. They're returning to Starkville.
I feel like the air raid will be known by then.
Yeah, I'm sure, especially given a bye week to tune up for Alabama and LSU. He may get some things.
I'm taking them.
You're taking
They're not going to lose every single game we think they're going to lose. They're going to bite somebody.
They will probably bite someone. Although I need to see it before I can say that.
They're going to bite Auburn.
All right, I like your confidence. I got Auburn winning that one.
I got them. Okay, so then they're home to Missouri. I think they're in a first-year coach situation as well. I'm taking them to beat Missouri.
I think I am too.
So right there, I got them at how many SEC wins? 1, 2, 3, and 3 at the moment. And then they're at Kentucky. That's a winnable game, but it's also a losable game. I kind of like what Stoops is doing in Kentucky.
I think Stoops will have the edge for this year at least.
Ooh.
I'm not trying to hate on our guy here, but the schedule is pretty tough.
I mean, if I gun to my head, I'm taking Kentucky, but I think
they get 8 wins last year, Kentucky?
Yeah.
They're a good team.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But Lynn Bowden's gone, replacing him. I guess Kentucky right now, I would not be surprised. That's a 50-50 game to me, but since it's in Lexington, I'll take Kentucky.
Yep.
Then at Ole Miss, the final game of the year, I got them beating Ole Miss.
I think they do too.
So I got them going 5-4 in conference? No, wait. There's only 8 conference games. 4-3.
That's 7.
5-3.
There you go.
Where do I have them going?
I think you got them at 5-3.
It's late. Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn. That's 3. Arkansas is 4. No, I just have them going 4-4.
4-4. I think I got them going 3-5.
You're gonna eat your words. They'll be in the bowl.
I hope so.
If we have bowls. All right, guys. Okay, let me ask you this. What's the key? What's the key game on the schedule?
Taking a look at it, I'm gonna say that A&M game going into the bye week, and maybe Ole Miss. It probably is the Ole Miss game. Because I think
the Egg Bowl, for recruiting, for everything.
Yeah, that's the measuring stick for both of the coaches in year one. And from the looks of it, it's going to be a fun one for a while. So I bet both these coaches are itching to get off on the right foot on that one.
They're going to bite someone you're not thinking.
That's true.
They're going to bite someone you're not thinking. But yeah, give me that Ole Miss game as the hardest game. This is the college experience, guys. We're talking Mississippi State football. Hail State. They're going to get to a bowl game. Great hire. Bringing in our guy, Mike Leach. Check out those podcasts at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Also, How Mummy. Hilarious stories with Coach Leach. We are our own feed, the college experience. We'd appreciate if you'd rate, review, share, subscribe, all that stuff. We would very much so appreciate it. He's Patty C. You can find him on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm Colby Dant. You can find me on Twitter at TheColbyD. And we're still a part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You can find them at the SGP Network on Twitter. Patty C, any last words for Mississippi State?
Hey, like Colby pointed out, there's some big home games that you have the opportunity to bite someone, namely Texas A&M and Auburn. So I'll be watching those closely and rooting for the cowbell to be ringing.
There we go. Hail State. This is the college experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out.